Our next speaker will be Chuck Green. He will be followed by Kay Evans. Please come forward. Thank you.
I'm not going to take much time from the council. I'm going to make this kind of fast because I'm the husband of Maddie Green, who just spoke already, and I'm the one that has to cook my own meals while she's at these meetings trying to help other people. She's also the one that goes to the other meetings in the States, and I have to fend for myself for the whole week. And so I really want you people to think clearly on this thing, because there's a lot of people out there that have put a lot of effort to try to help the youth of Hawaii, and I think they've done an excellent job. When Weed and Seed goes and visits the other states, everybody looks up toward them. Why? Because our group is together. They stick together during the meeting. They share the information with everybody. And when they leave, they're really happy. And I just like to say thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Green. Okay, our next testifier will be Kay Evans, and he'll be followed by Noah Growing. If you want to step forward, please. Mr. Growing.
Aloha. Thank you. Thank you for your time. I represent myself personally and also the community of Keaukaha and a youth program that I run presently there. And I did marijuana for 20 years. So I know the direct result of what happens when you use marijuana. And nothing positive ever came out of that. I've been over 20 years off marijuana, and I've been able to reach my dreams and my goals as a result of getting off of it. And the work that I do is high-risk behavior work in the community and also in the social field. And with marijuana, you're going to see an increase in cost of treatment. You will see an increase in the rise of suicides. I also do suicide prevention. I do crisis intervention. 100% of the homes I go to, the violence is due to marijuana or some type of drug. And marijuana is a gateway drug. Don't let anybody fool you. That's what I started off with when I was 7 years old and escalated to much more things. Violence, I mean, with the teens that I work with, you get kids high on drugs, you're going to see problems. You're going to see social disrespect. And I think for me, the bottom line is drugs are not pono. Our state motto is uamau ke'ea o ka'aina ika pono. You know, the land should be perpetuated in righteousness. There's no righteousness that comes out of drugs. Nothing positive. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Evans. Our next speaker will be Noah Growing. He'll be followed by Fred Blas.
Hello, Council. Hello, all of the island. I would like to speak from the point of a scientist and also from the point of a recent come-around atheist. I believe that we have here a question of whether something is good, whether something creates a social order. And I would like to quote a famous internet joke here. I'm very serious. The number of pirates since 1806 has decreased. The global temperature has increased in this time, and I'm directing this to the Mendocino, California argument that this statistic happened to coincide with this other statistic. These things are not directly related, necessarily. I'm going to make 2 points from personal experience as having lived here for a while. The first point is that illegal marijuana is a very large part of this island. You saw 49% of this island vote for ballot 1, something like that. This illegal marijuana use is jobless. People cannot work while holding a marijuana habit. I look at marijuana not as a good thing directly. It's a vice, I believe. But I think it's something that, if used in moderation, like anything else, is much less damaging than alcohol. I'm going to point to 2 friends of mine that I mentioned earlier. and their lives with marijuana. One is a user, and one has sold marijuana. The first, the user, has an addictive personality. He's in the statistic of the men without a father who typically become addicted. I don't believe that the drug itself is inherently addictive, but that people become addicted to things. It's our nature. My friend, he used to just smoke marijuana. He was very addicted to it, I believe. And he was recently put on parole. He couldn't smoke marijuana because it's illegal in this state, and he was drug tested for it. He's started drinking alcohol instead. This vice, I believe, is much more mentally impairing and has caused him to be recently kicked out of his very anti-alcohol household. The second person that I spoke of,
30 seconds.
okay, started selling marijuana at a young age. He was one of those children of Pahoa that wanted to make money. He was an entrepreneur. And I believe that due to the illegality of marijuana, the entrepreneur demographic in our state is directed towards this profitable endeavor. I believe that if we legalize and mass produce marijuana, that our entrepreneurs will get back to the tax-paying things that they do. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Goin. Our next speaker is Fred Blas. He will be followed by Douglas Suffren. Doug, if you're here, please step forward.
Aloha Council members.
It's not on. Rodney, yeah, go ahead, Mr. Blas.
Go ahead. Aloha Council members. My name is Fred Blas, and I live in Hawaiian Beaches, which is normally known before as the drug dealing subdivision here in Puna. I belong to the Pahoa Wheat and Seed Steering Committee. I also belong to I'm the former board of director for the Boys and Girls Club. I chair the Hawaiian Beach Action Team, and I also am a member of the PCAT, which is Puna Community Action Team, which involves CAM School, Queen Leleokalani, and the Salvation Army. And also, due to a lot of drug activities going in Pahoa, we started for, I don't know, over 20 years, a football team, and I'm a member of the call Puna Panthers to keep these children and kids out of drugs, especially marijuana. I'm here to testify against the Bill 2101 on opposition. Marijuana is the gateway to stronger and more dangerous drug. If it's for medical purpose with a permit, however, that's a different story. I have heard and read about marijuana, medical patients with marijuana permits, that they abuse it and they'll grow more than on the other allowed than they should sell to the rest of the users. If the users could buy stronger drugs because marijuana is not strong enough to keep them going. I appreciate you members would vote against this bill because in our district, we like to see our kids say no to marijuana because it leads to stronger drugs and criminal activities. We have a serious problem down there in Pahoa, in the lower Puna district. And I need your help to get this thing passed because we definitely need some help down there. And I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Blas.